Hey guys, it's your boy Mark Sanders back with another video. April 19th, 2022, yesterday, the Batman was finally posted on HBO Max. I didn't get to see this in cinemas. I was very excited to watch it. I was a lot less excited, once I actually watched reviews, and all that. Not in a not the worst thing in the world. It's not the first time. It's far from the first time I've ever been disappointed by a movie or anything like that. But a couple friends of mine, they were like, "This is about an 8 out of 10," and that got me a lot less excited. And this was my most anticipated film of 2022. But today, July 19th. Sorry, not July. April 19th, 2022. I finally watched The Batman. And, of course, The Batman, this was originally, long ago, when we were first hearing about a movie in development called The Batman, Ben Affleck's Batman standalone movie. And then he was going to be writing, directing, and, of course, starring as Batman himself. From the DCU. And then he quit in, I think, 2017. But he was still going to play Batman. And then Matt Reeves came on board. Matt Reeves wanted to direct the Batman, so it was still going to be Ben Affleck playing Batman in the Batman with Matt Reeves as the director this time. And then there's probably a whole bunch of stuff in between that I'm forgetting about. And then Ben Affleck says he's not going to be playing Batman anymore, even though he has, in a way. He's in The Flash as Batman one last time. He filmed additional scenes for Zack Snyder's Justice League. And, and then they announced that this movie had been turned into a whole nother thing. It was going to be separate from the DCU. It was going to be its own thing, and they were going to have someone else playing Batman. I know you're like, bro, can you get to talking about the movie? I understand. This is just what I want to talk about, because years ago I imagined the Batman movie review, movie thoughts, it would have been a Ben Affleck Batman movie. That's, years ago, 6 years ago, that's what I imagined my review of this would have been. So that's why I wanted to do this, And, yeah. And then they announced Robert Pattinson. I remember they said it was either going to be Robert Pattinson or Nicholas Hoult. That was in, I think, February of 2019. And it ended up being Robert Pattinson. So Robert Pattinson cast as Batman. I love this casting from the beginning. There were quite a lot of people who mocked the casting, like, oh my gosh, you have the Twilight guy. I understand that. I understand that, he'll forever be linked to Twilight. But he's done really great since then. Good Time. I love that movie. That was from 2017. That was awesome. And Tenet, Christopher Nolan's Tenet. I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies ever, because Christopher Nolan's my favorite director ever. And here we are now, 2022. The Batman finally releases, not starring Ben Affleck, nothing to do with Ben Affleck, nothing to do with DCU, but with Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne / Batman, Matt Reeves as the director, and a whole ensemble cast. Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle Catwoman, Paul Dano as Edward Nygma / the Riddler, Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Jim Gordon, Peter Sarsgaard as one of the attorney guys. I couldn't remember his name for the life of me. I don't think I ever caught it in the first place, to be honest. Just the whole ensemble cast. John Toretto, something like that. I know I'm butchering that. I apologize. I know him from Anger Management and the Transformers films. He was in this as Carmine Falcone. Colin frickin' Farrell looks incredible as Oswald Cobblepot / the Penguin, and apparently he has his own series coming out, spin-off series. That's going to be interesting. Whether that is a prequel or set after this, or maybe in the middle of this, who knows? Maybe they've announced that, but I just wasn't aware. Anyway, the Batman. I was excited for this when the trailer dropped in 2020. It was originally supposed to release in 2021, but then COVID happened, and it got pushed to 2022, which was a huge bummer. But now we're in 2022. The movie's finally out. We finally saw this. I remember back in 2019 when I told my mom that the Batman movie was coming out, and I was like, yes, we're finally getting another Batman movie, because if you don't know me, Batman's my favorite fictional character of all time. And the Dark Knight trilogy are my favorite movies ever. Christopher Nolan's my favorite director ever, and all that, you know. And I finally watched the Batman tonight, and for the first hour of this movie, I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. This is amazing. And then, like, I watched the rest of it. I was still quite engaged throughout the whole thing. And at the end of it, I was like, that was really good. That was really, really good. First of all, Gotham City. Like, this version of Gotham City is just beautiful. That like we go to several locations several times. Like, we go to, like, the nightclub, the Falcone nightclub. We go there several times. We go to the Bat Signal area several times. We go, of course, to the Batcave a good amount of times. And people are right. I heard in some reviews, like, that Bruce Wayne himself was hardly in this movie, you know. And that's true, you know, especially, like, this really is about Batman, and this really isn't an action-packed movie, you know. This is meant to be a story, a Batman story. You can tell there's passion in this and all that, and you can't help but admire and love that. This was made by a Batman fan, for Batman fans. They did change some stuff, like, from the comic books, but, you know, what comic book movie doesn't do that, you know? I'm not going to say how exactly, because that would be spoilery, you know? But, you know, like, it's quite slow. Like I said, this is a story, not like a full-on action thing. This is Batman, though, and it's not for kids at all. It's not for kids. There's the F word. They say F-U-C-K in this movie. Only once, but still, they say shit a bunch of times. You actually see a severed finger, or a severed thumb, quite early on, actually. And I was like, holy crap, you know. I think this movie is actually R-rated over here in New Zealand. Anyway, the Batman, you know, it's really good. It's far from perfect. Bruce Wayne / Batman, well, really just Batman. This is how, you guys know I have Batman Reborn, you know, my Batman movie, so this has nothing to do with that necessarily, just this is, like, if I actually was literally Batman in real life. This version of Batman is how I imagine I would be. He seems so introverted. Like me, I consider myself a proud introvert. And keeps to himself and all that. Like I said, we don't see much of Bruce Wayne in this movie, you know, but I gotta say, this is the most different Bruce Wayne, you know, just Bruce Wayne, not Batman himself. This is the most different Bruce Wayne I've ever seen. Like, he really doesn't act like a happy-go-lucky, smiley, billionaire playboy, and he's all serious Batman-y at night, you know? I mean, like I said, we still have hardly, like, spent time with him as Bruce Wayne. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, phenomenal. Loved her. And, you know, this is a long movie. This is, like, literally 5 minutes away from being 3 hours. And, like, during the first hour, I was starting to think, how much screen time is all these characters going to get? And I think you got enough screen time for all the characters. We didn't really see Alfred that much, though. I mean, but he was great. You know, Andy Serkis, my man Andy Serkis. I really like him as Alfred in this. Can't wait to see more of him in this universe. Catwoman's great. You know, aside from some... there was a certain line that I heard was in the movie that I was really dreading and annoyed by just hearing about its existence. And it was still crappy when it came up. You know, but it wasn't as bad as I was imagining it. Yeah. You know, I have my laptop in front of me, so I'm just gonna Google the Batman and look at the cast and all that. Yes, it is R-rated in New Zealand, R13. Just go to cast. Robert Pattinson. Yeah, he was great. I don't know if he's my favorite. He's probably like my third favorite Batman, behind Ben Affleck and of course Christian Bale. The Riddler. He was. A lot of people say he was creepy, and not that he wasn't, but he seemed like a internet troll, like tough guy type of thing. You know, he was still like a really cool villain. He's not like I don't think I like him anywhere near as much as a lot of other people. I still like him, you know. Carmine Falcone was freaking awesome. He had a much bigger role in the movie than I was expecting, actually. Gil Coulson, that's who Peter Sarsgaard played. I know him from Orphan and Green Lantern, and now this. Colin Farrell, he was dope. He was dope. Like, pretty amazing that that's actually Colin Farrell. It's so weird to see Ben Affleck's picture on the Batman's Wikipedia, even though he's not even in the movie. Alright. Like I said, Gotham City looked amazing. And just revisiting all the places several times throughout the film just made it feel more real. Like, it just made it feel like a world, like I said, I saw myself in this version of Batman. He was quite mean to Alfred a couple times. Like, you lied to me, Alfred. And you know you're not my father, right? And I forgot that other thing right now. I can remember it. And like, you're not a Wayne, are you? You know, he was quite mean to Alfred, like far out. You know, but no doubt he loves Alfred. I mean, you know, and all that. The action was really cool when we saw it. This, like I said, this really isn't action filled. You know, when you watch that first trailer, you'd think it'd be like stuffed with action. You know, not necessarily, but it was still really awesome when it did happen. You know, and what was I trying to say? Oh, and the final act, like it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. I thought I probably pictured something like the end of Batman Begins. How like I thought it'd be like a city takeover thing, and not to spoil anything else, but like at the end of Batman Begins. I guess I am spoiling Batman Begins, but that's a friggin' 17-year-old film. Well, it will be in June, but like how uh, like how he still fights a whole bunch of people. Like there's gonna be like a massive ass fight at the end. Like I thought that was gonna happen, and then the end happened. And I was like, kind of like, that's it. It didn't really feel like completely like a finale should, I reckon. You know, but this is year two. This is Batman's like second year as protector Gotham and all that, and he's still learning. And at the end, not to spoil nothing, but he does learn lessons and all that, and yeah, the Batman. So happy I finally watched it. I reckon it's quite different than maybe a lot of people are expecting, and I have not yet watched that deleted Joker scene yet that they released online, but I'm sure I'll get to it eventually. But anyway, I'd probably give the Batman an 8 out of 10. Gotham City is amazing. Like that, like the color palette of this reminded me of the 2008 movie Wanted with James McAvoy. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the Batman. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm really proud of this. Peace out, y'all.